It's like a church. Nobody wants to run there.
Good to go?
Exactly.
That's what happens when you're lost.
So I'd like to call this meeting of November 30th to order. Can we please stand for a moment of silent reflection? Thank you. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? Seeing none, is there any correspondence? We have none. The business for which this meeting was called was a fire department appointment. On behalf of myself and council, I'd like to welcome all of our special invited guests, the wives and officers of our volunteer fire department. We're very, very pleased to have you here with us tonight. And we're very pleased to be part of this ceremony that's going to be an appointment for our new fire chief. So I will ask the staff to read the report.
I can read it. Over. So in the summer of 2019, with the departure of the then fire chief, Kevin Champ has been in the position of acting fire chief with temporary promotion of Kevin Champ and the retirement of the deputy chief in Golden Lake. Two vacancies have been filled by Kevin Kilby and Rob Henshaw, both in their acting capacities. During this period, in their acting capacities, the fire department has grown into a much more unified and capable team. Through the acting chief, Champ's leadership, and the assistance of the deputies, the department has flourished. The lagging fire marshal's recommendations have been managed and addressed. New recruits have come on board. The department has rallied together with a major renovation project at Golden Lake Hall, and the fire department has strengthened the team and coped very well with the COVID under the present leadership. It is recommended that council now appoint the very competent Kevin Champ as the permanent fire chief, and to permit the chief to appoint his permanent deputy.
Thank you, Andrew. So I have a recommendation that council appoint through bylaw acting chief Kevin Champ to the position of permanent fire chief, and further that chief Champ be permitted at this meeting to formally appoint acting deputy chiefs Kevin Kilby and Rob Pritchard, the positions of permanent duty chiefs. Could I please get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor Ricky Schoenfeld, seconded by Councilor Byrne. And before I open it up for the rest of the council, I'd like to make a few comments myself. Chief Champ took over leadership of a department that was fragmented into two separate stations and worked hard to bring these two individual groups together to form a unified, cohesive team. He formalized a comprehensive training program for new recruits, combined training sessions to build trust and collaboration with all volunteer members within the department. He immediately began addressing the 18 recommendations identified in the Ontario Fire Marshal's review and audit that had been conducted a year prior to his appointment. Within 1 year, all 18 recommendations had been addressed and most implemented. Chief Champ recognized and utilized the knowledge and experience of his senior firefighters, engaged their support, established specific committees in the department to plan, build, and deliver detailed operations and capital budgets for council's consideration. We're very grateful and pleased to have Kevin as our permanent fire chief. I'll open it up to council for any comments. Seeing none, then I will call for the vote. Councillor Byrne?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson? Councillor Ricky Schoenfeld?
Yes.
I'm a yes, so that's carried. Thank you very much. We will now move to the presentation of the hat and the epaulets by Mayor and CA.
You'll have to do the bylaw
So whereas the Council of North Algona Wilberforce Township deems it expedient and necessary to employ municipal officers and staff under and subject to the provisions of the bylaw. And whereas Section 228(1) of the Municipal Act 2001, RSOC 25 provides that the council shall appoint a fire chief. And whereas council deems it appropriate to set out the appointment in a bylaw, now therefore the council of the Corporation of North Algona Wilberforce Township hereby enacts as follows. That Kevin Champ is hereby appointed as fire chief for the Corporation of North Algona Wilberforce Township effective November 30th, 2020. And where any bylaw and or resolution passed prior to this bylaw conflicts with the bylaw, the terms of this bylaw shall prevail. And that this bylaw shall come into force and take effect upon being passed by council. This bylaw has been read a first and second time this 30th day of November 2020, read a third time and passed this 30th day of November 2020. All in favor?
You get a mover and a seconder for that?
Yes, we do need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Reiki Schoenfeld. All in favor? Thank you very much, that's passed. So now we can move on to the presentation of Nepal by GAO and myself.
Come on over here. Up here. I just need someone to work my camera up and volunteer. If you would. Come on over here. We'll go over here. We'll get you.
Thank you very, very much.
And your envelope is with that. This is not from the Township.
Look like bandits. Is that my outside voice?
And with my authority as CAO, I'm going to ask you to appoint your deputy.
Kevin Hildy, welcome. We shall formalize the appointment of you as the deputy chief responsible for the Gold Lake Station.
Thank you very much.
You can shake, but. Wait a minute,
At least turn and face the camera.
And deputy chief. Thank you. Your envelope. Thank you very much.
All right.
Real quick, it'll be like easy.
No.
Robert Bishop. This, we'd like to formalize your appointment as the deputy chief responsible for the Granton Station.
Thank you, sir. Forward to working with you.
I'm going to present you with your envelopes.
Thank you, sir.
Deputy chief.
Thank you.
Would it be possible to get a picture of the three of
Definitely.
you together?
What we should do is have finish the meeting and then
Okay.
we'll do pictures.
Okay, good plan here.
You want to room, then we can take it out of the meeting.
So we'll move on to our confirmatory bylaw. Being a bylaw which is 2020-94, a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council of the Corporation of North Algona Wilberforce Township at the regular council meeting held November 30th, 2020. Whereas section 5.3 of the Municipal Act 2001, chapter 25 provides that, except where otherwise provided, the powers of council shall be exercised by bylaw. And whereas it is deemed expedient and desirable that the proceedings of council of the Corporation of North Algona Wilberforce Township at the meeting be confirmed and adopted by bylaw. Now therefore being enacted, and it is hereby enacted as a bylaw of the Corporation of North Algona Wilberforce Township, therefore as follows, that the actions of council at the meeting held on November 30th, 2020, and in respect of each motion, resolution, and other action passed and taken by council at its said meeting is, except where the prior approval of the Ontario Municipal Board or other body is required, hereby adopted, ratified, and confirmed as if all such proceedings were expressly embodied in this bylaw. That the head of council and proper officers of the Corporation of North Algona Wilberforce Township are hereby authorized and directed to do all things necessary to give effect to the said action or to obtain appropriate approvals where required, except where otherwise provided, and to affix the corporate seal of the Corporation of North Algona Wilberforce Township to all such documents. Be read a first and second time this 30th day of November 2020. Be read a third time and finally passed this 30th day of November 2020. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Reiche Schoenfeld, seconded by Councillor Burnt. All in favor? That motion is carried. Thank you very much. I have a resolution that this special meeting of council adjourns at 7:43 p.m. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Reiche Schoenfeld. All in favor? That motion is carried. Thank you very much. We are adjourned, and we will have a brief reception with the department heads and special invited